Hello, everybody. This is Chris Barron for the 11th of October 2020. How are you guys? So last time I didn't do a voice chat thing, but today this is gonna be really fun because since this is a designer thing, we're gonna talk about the massage gun, about transcendental meditation, Jerry Seinfeld, a little bit about 99 designs and some design reviews, but yeah, all sorts of crazy stuff. So I hope you're ready to dive straight into it because this is gonna be a lot of fun. This is gonna be a bit peculiar, but I promise you, I'm not gonna sell you anything strange or anything like that. That's not the point of it. So let me start out with the most important thing, and I would say it's this particular gun that looks like something else. So very short in just a few words. As you probably know, I'm really big into fitness, into taking care of myself. Just because sitting down, for 12 hours a day for 15 years is not all that great for your health, right? And for your body. So you really do need to take care of yourself. And I've been getting massages done for about 3 years now. I've been going to various doctors and they've been taking care of me. But yeah, basically, I'm willing to try just about anything that can improve my body so that I can work more. That's my own personal preference, obviously. I don't want to work myself in the grave. I don't want to be a workaholic. But as you probably know, if you really want to succeed, especially in the design world, you really have to make sure that you're able to function at peak performance for a long time. So I found out about this particular gun because I'm watching various people on YouTube, and basically they're carrying around something like this, and I found it really odd. They were carrying around with it in the gym, and I thought, man, that looks really odd. It's very peculiar. It's very strange. Anyway, I bought it, and it's absolutely amazing. It's absolutely fantastic, and I really want to put that out there. If you really want something for your back, for aches all over your body, this is absolutely incredible. This is about $160, maybe 180 with shipping, and it's absolutely fantastic. It's absolutely amazing. You can look for it on amazon.co.uk. That's where I bought it from. It's called whatever it's called. I'm not sure actually how it's called. I'm just gonna post the link. It's not an affiliate link. I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm not getting anything out of this. I just really wanna let you know that this is absolutely fantastic. It's really well built. It's really silent. Let me actually just turn it on real quick. It has a display here that shows you the battery. It has 3 settings regarding the speed. This is the noise that it actually makes. And yeah, basically it's absolutely fantastic. And you can use it just about anywhere on your body. And I particularly use it on my back because it's absolutely fantastic. And yeah, it's something that, even though I've been paying for a massage for all these years, this is 100% worth it. I love it. Okay, so that's the first non-designer thing out of the way. Really quickly, Design Contest, which is a great platform, has just changed its appearance. I'm really happy about that. Design Contest wanted to be a serious 99 Designs contender at one point, but as you probably know, the prize amount isn't all that great. There aren't all that many competitions hosted on it, so there's not a lot to choose from. But with this redesign, I'm really happy to see it because this shows that they are serious. This shows that they are planning on getting more contest holders and subsequently more contests for us. So this is absolutely fantastic. The design itself isn't all that amazing. It's pretty basic, pretty standard. But yeah, it's professional, and I think this is a good sign. I think this shows that design competitions are here to stay. More on that, 99 Designs has been acquired. It has been bought by Vistaprint, and basically, people are very worried about this. That's because Vistaprint is basically, in a nutshell, from what I understand it, I just researched it just a couple of hours ago. It's not a great company per se. It's basically its core business revolves around templates, and basically most designers on 99 Designs fear that the price amount is really gonna go down. And that's obviously one way to look at it. On the other hand, from what I understand, again, I actually read up quite a lot. I think yesterday or the day before. I spent a few hours on it. Basically, the deal is the following: before, 99 Designs had various investors, various private investors, and as you probably know, investors care about one thing: the bottom line. They care about getting as much money as possible. So some people, some heavyweights on 99 Designs, speculate that this is actually a better move because this company is interested in the longevity of the platform. So even though the price amount may be a bit lowered, overall, I think Vistaprint has the best intentions regarding 99 Designs. And again, people are speculating that it's better that Vistaprint bought 99 Designs versus it being owned by a handful of people that were constantly pushing for as much profit as possible. So again, that's something to look out for. I'm not really sure what's really going to happen. Obviously, nobody knows. People are speculating, and there's a lot of discussions around here. And again, people are mostly upset. But let me tell you this: it really doesn't matter. Do your best. That's what matters at the end of the day. It's point blank. It's all that really matters. Now, in other news, in other non-design related news, TM, Transcendental Meditation. And again, I'm not affiliated. I have no idea what if there's any money to be made, if it's a pyramid scheme or whatever. But I really found it funny that Jerry Seinfeld, a person who doesn't really do any endorsements, a person who doesn't really do any ads of any type, is really pushing for this thing. And yeah, here's whatever, the 12-minute video of him speaking about it at a conference, specifically about this thing. And from the looks of it, I really don't want to say too much. It does seem to be sketchy. It does seem to be a bit scammy. But the fact that Jerry Seinfeld is a big fan of it, and the actor that plays Wolverine, Hugh Jackman, he's another big guy into transcendental meditation, is something that really shocked me. I wasn't expecting such heavyweights to endorse such a technique. Now, why am I talking about it? Because obviously, I'm interested in peak performance and being as full of energy as possible. From what I found out, actually, transcendental meditation is, again, from what I understand, is basically napping, right? So I've read about 60 books last year about various things, mostly, again, performance in general, performance in business, performance as an individual. And basically, what I want to tell you is this: sleeping from 20 to 60 minutes is absolutely amazing during the day, preferably around 2 or 3 p.m. if that's possible. But yeah, basically sleeping for that short amount of time is absolutely amazing. Now, some people call it meditation, some people call it napping. No matter what's the case, even if you don't fall into that really deep sleep, you're still gonna get the benefits. And I've seen some studies that show a dramatic increase in your mental performance. And obviously, us as designers, that's really important. Now, the key here is to not go under 20 minutes because you're not gonna get any benefit out of it, and to not go above 45 to 60 minutes. I'm gonna go with 60 minutes though. So if you go over 60 minutes, you're actually gonna be more drowsy. You're gonna feel more tired. So again, if you're looking for a short advice, nap between 20 to 60 minutes. Just sit there with your eyes closed, focus on your breath, and that's it. You're gonna feel much better after that. But yeah, again, I really found it odd that so many people are talking, so many heavyweights. Look, Howard Stern as well are talking about TM, transcendental meditation, when again, from what I understand, it's basically napping. But in order to nap correctly, you have to pay a huge fee to a teacher, and he has a $1,500 plan that will teach you how to nap effectively. Yeah. Okay, now back to the design stuff. Let's go with some design reviews. We have quite a few design reviews here, designs to be reviewed. But the most important one is this one right here. This is a design competition, and let's have a quick look at it. Let me actually do the following. Let me actually create an artboard from this one. And then we're gonna do the following, and then we're gonna move this one here so we can have a side-by-side comparison. Cool. Okay, so let's actually center it at the top and at the middle. Okay, beautiful. Okay, so this was submitted by a user on Discord, and let's go into full screen mode. So the one on the right is the winning design. So this was the winner. The one on the left is the student, our fellow Discord member. So looking at it right here, we can see that this one is way shorter. So that's the first thing. The winning design is much shorter. Let's have a better look at 100%. TrueLife.org, 2 calls to action, a very poor hero area, if I might say so. A clear video right here. A quote, okay. Oof, Adobe stock, okay. That's not bad, but it's not great either. Especially since these photos aren't all that special, so I'm not really sure why this designer chose Adobe stock for basically extremely bland photos. This is a replica from this part right here, just flipped around. Watch a video, which is again very lazy, and then a minimal footer. Wow. I'm not really sure the prize amount for this specific contest, but yeah, it's not looking all that great. Let's see what this designer did. First of all, okay, left aligned. Okay, right aligned, pretty good. Join the cause, this is pretty good, but I think this is 1 pixel off. Let's see, 17 pixels and oof, actually multiple pixels off. 2-3 pixels off. Okay, so that's not vertically centered. Fearless evangelism and invitation. Okay, this is pretty good. This looks pretty okay. The video right here, but it's not as clear cut, I would say. I would probably use a white stroke here as well. This is actually beautiful. This is excellent. I mean, you could take this to the bank, use it in your other projects. This looks great. I would decrease this space right here because I don't think it adds much. Okay, this is actually pretty good as well. The sharp lines at an angle. Okay, that's pretty good. I'm not in love with this. You should have used a completely rounded button, I believe. But yeah, this is pretty okay overall. Very clean. The typography is really on point. That's something that's really it's a 9 out of 10 if you ask me. So I really appreciate how you've done everything, how you arranged everything, how you've combined, different colors and different weights. I think you've done a beautiful job. The line height here is again very nice as well. The empty space right here. Most designers, what they would do is they would do something like this. Oops. Where are we? Yeah, they would do something like this, right? So they would bring them really close together. But this amount of empty space is actually great. Okay. So I really appreciate that. That's something that, again, it's such a basic thing, but it actually makes all the difference. So I really appreciate that. 370. Okay, 370. Okay, it's a decent price for the one pager. I'm guessing it's a one pager. Website embed player. Again, this is offset. This is not center, but not a big deal. This is the same thing as above, but again, I think it works really well. And this is, again, really well done. The shadows are really on point. This is exactly like I would do it. And the fact that, as you can see, it goes above and underneath this specific background, this pink background, this is beautiful. I mean, it really stands out. It really gives this specific page a certain depth, or as clients say, it makes it pop. So really happy about that. The design is really on point. I think you did very well. I'm not really sure if you used any inspiration, if you copied this layout from someplace, but I think it's a very well done website. Even this part here, in general, I don't like to have way too much empty space, but I think it works. Click here for pricing. This is a bit this is not great. This is not great because this just basically muddies the water. It's not clear all of a sudden if this is an action or if this is an action. You should never add a descriptive term above a call to action. If it's a button, let the button speak for itself. Join True Life. That's it, right? Or if this is important, just place it here. Just replace the label. But doing it this way, all of a sudden, this seems busy. All of a sudden, this seems like it's 4 elements in total. So I would not do that. And the footer, 3 columns, pretty good. I would probably not use all caps here. I think you probably chose to do a copy paste. I'm not really happy with that. This part right here, again, It's not all that great, but yeah, comparing it to this one, I think you did a much better job. I think hands down, yours is probably an 8 out of 10. This is probably a 6 out of 10. And I'm not really sure what made the client choose this one. I'm guessing, if I had to guess, I would say probably this part right here, which looks pretty interesting, pretty nice. I'm just trying to channel this guy's energy, because it's pretty clear that this is an older person. The client is obviously older, so I'm just trying to channel his thoughts, right? This part right here, I'm guessing the high amount of contrast made it a bit better. Yeah, I think that would be the case. And he probably got really upset about this specific thing, which seems to be like a drive-through thing. This seems to be something, regarding fast food. And from what I can tell, this is something regarding religion. This is a pastor. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that this really made him quite upset. I appreciate the fact that you chose a guy that's wearing red. But yeah, overall, I don't think this probably hurt you quite a lot. Yeah. Other than that, I'm not really sure, because this background is really poor. This is basically the same thing. So this guy just, just stole $370, just like that. This probably took about 90 minutes at the most. It's a really basic website. It doesn't show any finesse. I'm not really sure what this is all about, by the way. So yeah, I'm really sorry about that, but yeah, that guy did not deserve the win. So that's about that regarding that specific design. Now let's continue with something else. This is a complete PSD, as you can see here. I really appreciate the fact that I get to see how everything else is arranged. Pretty good stuff right here. What's this? Let's see. Alt and click. Nothing. It's why is this actually? Oh, this is the pattern. Okay, I wasn't. Yeah, I was quite confused about that, because usually when you hold the Alt key and you click on something, you get to see it up close, as you can see here. But yeah, this wasn't working with the pattern. And yeah, regarding this type of pattern in general, you should stay away from it. I don't think it's a good idea. Back in the day when I was really trying to be creative, I used to do stuff like this all the time. So I used to add these types of things all the time, just trying to be special, just trying to stand out from the crowd. But what I found out was it really makes it busy. It really makes it look busy, and exactly this part right here is the problem. You have no contrast, This is really small. Let's see, it's probably 14. Yeah, there we go, 14. 14 and minus 40. Letter spacing, that's not a good fit, my friend. Don't do that. Don't use a negative letter space for something that's already hard to read. So yeah, this is a mistake as far as I'm concerned. And choosing a light gray, again, it's not a good idea. Probably in this specific case, I would use pure black. I would probably increase the line height a bit more. I would not center it. I would left align it, and I would probably break it up into 2 paragraphs. Though there's no clear, maybe here. So something like this, and maybe something like that. Yeah, but the problem still remains, there's not enough contrast here. And if you add a rectangle, then again, you're just complicating yourself so much, because you need to have sufficient breathing room. It doesn't look all that great, above the pattern. Plus the pattern, I mean, it's not great. It may be creative, but it doesn't speak to me in the slightest. I think it's really weird. It's really odd. And you should really stay away from something that's so polarizing. Because again, I think you either love it or you hate it. And most people will probably hate it. So yeah, don't do that. So let's actually just disable it so we can clean it up. Obviously, I'm not gonna revamp it because I don't have the time to do so. That would probably take me at least 60 minutes to do so. As a reminder, when you have a website and you want to improve it, it takes little by little by little. You improve it by 3%, by 5%, by 7% here and there, and it constantly gets better. But it's not something, even I, as a web design specialist, I can't do, you know, in 5 minutes, just do something like that and boom, immediately it looks all of a sudden much, much better. That's not the case. Nobody can do that. Not me, not anybody else. Gradients, especially these types of gradients, are not a good fit. So just having a simple color is usually best. And if you have this type of color, this type of powerful red, this is really going to make a huge difference. So this is what I would do. And I would probably, what do we have here? What do we have here? I do have open sans actually, so I'm not really sure why this is a problem. But why are you using open sans? Let's see, what do we have here? Open sans as well, but that was, oh, sorry, that was open sans as well. I thought it was a different font. Yeah. Anyway, again, no negative lettered spacing. I would probably do something like this, probably bold and probably all caps, pure white, maybe something along these lines, right? So this all of a sudden stands out that much better. And regarding this part right here, probably just pure white and slightly bigger, and probably that's a bit much, but you get the point. And then let's just use the marquee tool to center it. So yeah, something along these lines, and probably this would be off-white. Now the reason why I'm doing this, because when you're trying to get better, it's these types of things that you really have to nail. You create one beautiful header that you're absolutely positive that it's beautiful, and then you can reuse it over and over again, right? Just focus on one specific thing, make a great footer, make a great hero area, make a great menu, and then you're gonna be golden. But the beauty about navigation is the fact that it's pretty much universal, right? I would say that about 70 to 80% of websites use this type of approach. So a very simple, solid color rectangle that goes full width with a semi-bold or bold font, you know, just make sure you have a beautiful one, and then you can reuse it a bunch of times. Hero areas are obviously much trickier to reuse, but yeah, the top part, you know, the cart in the top right, these types of things, a search box, you can constantly reuse them. Speaking about the search box, I'm not in love with it. I'm not really sure why you made it ooh, where is this actually? Ah, man, did you actually use a custom shape for it? You did. You used a custom shape for it. I mean, this is a classic execution mistake. Pay attention, guys. So you probably know that in order to select a layer, just control click it, right? It's as easy as possible, right? But now we have these custom shapes here, and amongst these custom shapes we have various things that are, for example, like this shape, right? Now this is actually empty inside. So if I click just right here, as you can see, I'm not picking it up. Why? Because it's empty. I have to click on its edge. And that's really nasty, because if you really make it small, something like this becomes nearly impossible to select. It's really a pain. So this is exactly what this guy did here. Instead of using the correct technique, which is using a rectangle, lowering the fill, and then using a stroke. Now, obviously for us, this looks invisible. Whoops, why is this so dark? Sorry about that. Okay, now obviously for us, this seems like this is the same thing, that this is transparent, but actually as far as Photoshop is concerned, so you can see how I selected the yellow thing, and now the search box, not the underlying rectangle, the red one. So as you can see, my control click selection actually works, where in this case, it doesn't. So this is a really beautiful point to remember. This is the type of thing that you're looking for. Actually, let's not delete it, because there's another problem right here. And that's the fact that this is way too small. So let's have a quick look here. My rectangle is already really small. It's only 34 pixels, right? So this is what? Let's have a quick look here with the marquee tool. This is only 24 in 2020, nearly to 2021. This is unacceptable by any stretch of I mean, nobody would be happy with such a small search box. So obviously make it significantly bigger. That's the number one thing. That's the number one takeaway right here. Let's see what else. Do we have guides? Yes, we do have guides, so we can actually align it. Notice how when I turn on the guides and everything else, You can see how this is really choppy. So moving about, panning around is actually really choppy. This is why I sometimes disable it when I'm working. Now all of a sudden it's much smoother. Okay, yeah, beautiful, beautiful. Let's actually arrange it. By the way, I'm constantly messing up my alignments. I'm clicking on the wrong thing just because I'm using Adobe XD as well. And as you probably know, Adobe XD, even though it's created by Adobe, the same company that created Photoshop, the alignment tools are in a different order. So that's something fun for you. Okay, let's see. Let's pick up the pace. So I would not actually use this type of shade anywhere in any design whatsoever. This doesn't make any sense. Gold, let's call it yellow. It's really tricky. There's only a handful of companies that do gold really well. And what I would do is I would look up Hertz, or I would look up any major company that uses yellow. Let's say this is the exact color code, right? Let's say something like that. And what I would do is I would change it ever so slightly like this. So I'm not stealing that exact color code, but I'm using something extremely similar. This is what I would do for the yellow in particular. Don't try and be a hero and come up with something of your own, because this looks like rubbish. This doesn't look great. And more on that, I'm not really sure why. Again, this is another execution mistake. You should not have these lines here. What are these lines? Are these separators? Yeah. So in this case, you would need a stroke. A stroke would be just as good. So adding more layers just doesn't make any sense. This is the type of thing. This is why developers hate us, because when you give this PSD, when you hand over the process, because you're not actually gonna give this PSD to the developer. When you're gonna use Zeppelin, he's gonna see a bunch of things that don't make any sense, and this is one of them. Why include these two separators when a stroke would have been fine? Actually, you don't even need them. You don't even need the stroke, because the contrast should be there. The contrast is enough. Okay, so something like that. Okay, let's pick up the pace once more. This is very basic, very small. This is not a good fit. This is, I mean, listen, if you're trying to create a beautiful e-commerce website, this top part and this navigation menu are essential. They're incredibly important. You should 100% focus on the shopping cart experience and making it as clear as possible. This doesn't do the trick, so I'm not really happy with it. The logo is really washed out as well. I would not leave it as it is. I would probably select this part right here and make it slightly darker. Maybe not as dark as this one, but yeah, definitely darker. Online surf shop. This is again very basic. I mean, it's better than using Lorem Ipsum, but yeah, overall, it's not a great call to action. This button is beautifully done. I mean, it's well sized, well proportioned. The color is nice, the text is nice, but yeah, that's about it. The logo should not be here. This is not cool. As you can see that, you know, when you have logos that are, you know, strange shapes, you know, some are really wide, some, you know, are circular, some are squared and whatever, don't include them in a key position. The subhero region is something really important. Make the most out of it. Make sure that this stands out, the subhero region. I mean, again, if we're talking about most clients, 99% of clients on most platforms, this part is exactly what you should focus on. After that part, it's basically a grid. If you make a decent grid of products, which you should be able to do, you know, because it's one of the most basic things that you can do. If you focus on this part and nail it, you're gonna win. I mean, it's nearly impossible not to win e-commerce contests, because most clients are looking for the exact same thing. They're looking for the crystal clear shopping experience. They're looking for something that converts well, that sells well. What you're doing right here isn't doing the job, because Shop Now, it just takes you to a different page. These things right here, they don't make me want to click on something. About Us, again, doesn't make me want to buy something. This right here, again, it's a discount. That's great, but I haven't seen any products. How am I supposed to make a purchase if I'm not seeing any products, right? And now we have various categories. You should not, I repeat, you should not use this multicolored approach. I'm not really sure why you did that. This doesn't make any sense. The contrast is really poor. You can barely read the text, just use a colored overlay. It's as simple as that. You try to be funny right here with a black and white effect, but actually what you actually wanted to do right here was something like this colored overlay. Just sample this red from this part, just lower that to something like whatever, something along these lines, and then make this white, and that's that. So really simple, really basic, right? And don't use open sans, for God's sakes. I mean, really, this obviously doesn't look all that bad, but it doesn't look great either, right? So try and, look for something a bit more interesting. Oh, actually, this looks a bit interesting because this is Proxima Nova. That's interesting. I'm not really sure if I like your approach. Proxima Nova and Open Sans. I'm not a big fan. I'm not actually a big fan. Let's see what else. Okay, this design just froze. So that's my cue to move on to another one. That's Photoshop for you. So as you can see, this right here has just frozen. It's okay. Let's move on. No worries. We have another one. This is a bit narrower, 1440. I'm not really sure why you would do that, but okay, this is interesting. Let's see the actual width. The actual width is 1200. That's cool. This illustration I actually used a very similar one fairly recently. Pretty good. But the typography is not all that great. The logo, I mean, these types of logos should really be something like this, way smaller. I think that would be a much better fit. Oops. Let's actually inverse it. It doesn't wanna. Okay. So something like that obviously should be centered. Log in and register now. You should use different icons. You should use buttons here. You should have more space in between your menu items. And this color, when you use one single color in a web design, in a website, you have to make sure that it stands out. And this right here, so lower down in the colored picker, I don't think it does the trick. Something a bit more saturated, something along these lines would probably be a bit better. Something richer, more vibrant. But that's just my personal preference. Now, this is set at automatic line height. So these two, they don't have enough space in between them. That's a shame. And basically, I think one thing that really stands out right here is the fact that your typography game is really lacking. You're a big fan of Arial, and that's that. Obviously, this is not Arial, but it's so close to Arial that it doesn't make any difference. So the number one reason, the number one thing that I would work on is your typography game. I think that's where you're really lacking. Another thing is you have to understand hierarchy. And hierarchy just means that you have to know who's boss, who's the most important element on the page. And you basically do that with two things in particular, one with size and the second thing with color. So if you imagine, there's a boss and there are employees, obviously the boss should stand out. He should be dressed in a separate fashion. He should stand out. Everything about him should make him stand out, right? But if it's a general on the battlefield and you have various soldiers, it's the same thing regarding design in the design world. What's the difference between this part and this part right here? I'll tell you, nothing. For most clients, this is identical, right? We can see that this is actually slightly smaller, maybe 4 or 6 pixels smaller, but if it's similar enough, it's not different enough. If it's similar enough, it's the same thing for the clients. So this is why you have to really make sure that your sizing is on point, right? Right now, what I'm seeing here is everything is competing for my attention. There's way too much going on in this part right here. And your intentions were great. You have some beautiful icons. So you thought, okay, let me make it big. We have all this empty space right here. Let me make this title bigger because it would stand out more. But actually what you're doing right here is you're making everything busy. Now this should be about, half of its current size. Probably this should be shrunk by, let's actually do it. I would probably see something like this. Or what I would do is I would increase the amount of empty space in between these sections, and I would actually decrease the title right here, something like that. Maybe not that much, but anyway. And I would add a call to action button and some text. just a few lines of text that would have worked way better. Yeah, way too much text here, way too small, unfortunately, and you're continuing with this route, which is really unfortunate. This is a fault cry. Just have a look here. These black bullet points and this low amount of space. Comparing it to this one right here, it's night and day. This looks so much better, so airy, so beautiful, so elegant. Whilst on the other hand, this just looks busy. It looks tiny. It's just not a good fit. These parts, I mean, I've tried this. I've tried to create this section, I mean, for months and months on end, and it never worked. It rarely works. I don't know what it is, but for the life of me, I can't design a multi-step graphic. No matter how much money you would pay me. This is something that's really tricky. It's very hard to be original. It's really hard to make it stand out. I would not create such a thing. It's really difficult. And again, that's been my experience. I've tried looking at inspiration. I've tried various things, but yeah, it just doesn't work for me. So this is exactly the type of grid that I was talking about above. So this is much better. Again, the titles are a bit too large for my taste. Probably something like this and probably bolder. But yeah, this is not a good look. Don't use blue here. Just use gray, light gray. And the login versus register. This doesn't make any sense at all. I'm guessing the login is related. No. So it's actually like this. So these three fields are related to register, and login probably shows you a different pop-up with two different fields. I'm guessing email and password. This doesn't make any sense. And you can tell that this specific designer doesn't have any coding experience, because if you actually worked, even if you're not a coder yourself, if you actually worked with any coder whatsoever, you would know that this doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't make any sense. These fields with this button and then this one that what goes again, it shows you a different pop-up. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So yeah, this isn't a great design, unfortunately. But yeah, overall, I'm really happy about this one. I think you did a great job. I think Cucumber did it. So I'm really happy for you that you did a fantastic job. But yeah, unfortunately, not good enough to win versus this guy. So that's about it, guys. That's about it. This time it was a bit longer, 38 minutes. That was Transcendental Meditation. That was the massage gun that I advertised. Jerry Seinfeld, Howard Stern, and the napping, because obviously napping is deeply tied into Photoshop, right? But yeah, I've been actually really busy with my company. Things have gone tremendously well. The number of orders has skyrocketed, and basically that was due to me creating ads on Facebook myself. I'm not sure if you know this, but I hired multiple companies to take care of my ads for me, because I was just so busy that I said, okay, let me hire the best agencies in the country, let them handle the ads, and then they'll do a great job. Well, short story, after the 2-3 months, I wasn't really happy with their results. I hired another agency. Same thing, after about 6 weeks, things weren't going all that well. And constantly I was telling them the same thing over and over again. Hey guys, those ads, use better photos. I have so many photos, use better ones. And more importantly, use longer copy. Please use some of my copy. Look, huge copy, with lots of emojis, with bullet points, with whatever. Please make sure that you include these. And they were constantly telling me, hey Chris, people don't really want to read all that much text. If they're interested, they're gonna click on the website and then they're gonna see what's what. By the way, I'm talking about my website that sells healthy snacks, basically lemonade and biscuits and pancakes and whatever. So again, I was constantly telling them, hey, I don't think I agree. I don't think this is the right way to go, but you're the professionals. I'm gonna let you do it. If the results come in and it works your way, then I'm happy. Just do your thing. Unfortunately, results weren't coming in. So what I did was I actually created ads myself. I told them, hey, let me create an ad from start to finish. You just follow my instructions. Target these people. Target women, whatever, 25 or 45 from Bucharest, Romania, whatever. use these ads, use these copy. And you know what? It worked fantastically. It worked significantly better than what they did. Now, obviously, I don't want to showboat. I don't want to say that I'm amazing or I'm fantastic, but it just goes to show that you're the best guy for the job when you're so deep into it. Because obviously, I know my company better than anyone else, right? And I'm really, the results, they're really incredibly important for me, for the company as well, for the advertising agency as well. But obviously, if for example, if they make me a return of investment, let's say I spend $100 and they make me $110, they're gonna come and say, hey Chris, we have a profit, we did a great job. That's it, right? That's it. $110, beautiful. But I actually want 150, I actually want 200, I actually want 300. And there's no incentive for these companies to actually push, to work more, to actually get more money, to actually get a better result. So that's the problem. They were doing an okay job, but now with me, with me creating these ads, things have gone fantastically well. But now having so many orders each and every day, obviously that creates other problems. I have to hire more people, I have to do all sorts of things regarding the shipping and whatnot. So that's why I couldn't host the weekly design conversation on Wednesday. Things were so hectic, and it's still gonna be a bit hectic because again, it's ride or die. I'm having so many orders from my ads, but people are a bit upset because orders aren't going out as fast as possible. They're not going out as I'd like them to. So again, that's something that I have to take care of. So even when you want more orders and you get more orders, it doesn't actually mean that it's great. It's the same thing with regards to getting more projects. I remember that when I was freelancing, obviously I wanted more web design projects done in Photoshop, right? And at one point I had too many projects, one-on-one clients, right? I had 4 different clients, and they all paid really well. They were all great, companies and people and whatnot. And I just didn't know what to do. And obviously outsourcing wasn't a great idea, and I couldn't do it. And I just had to work all around the clock. So that's something where you have to be careful what you wish for. You may wish for more work, for more projects, but you have to be careful that you're ready for it. So that's about it. This is Chris signing out. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I'll see you on Wednesday, hopefully. I promise. No, I'm going to be there. Thank you.